Hi, I'm Jeff Stokes. Welcome to Jeff's Daily Dose of Encouragement. Today I want to encourage you that you can't outsmart Jesus. You know, there are a lot of people around today that you hear if you watch enough social media and that, which I also do, who think that whenever we share the Christian faith and stuff like that, that they think they've always got clever arguments to overturn it, or clever arguments against there being a God, and clever arguments about Jesus rising from the dead, and things like that. All these things, people seem to think they are so clever that they've got arguments, but you know, you can't outsmart Jesus. In Matthew chapter 22, 3 times, the Sadducees, and then the Pharisees, I think some lawyers and that as well, they tried to trick him with questions. But every single time, the first time was they asked if he paid tribute or paid tax, you know, and then he said, well, bring me a coin. And they showed him the coin, and they did not expect his answer. And he said, who's that picture on the coin? And they said, Caesar's. And he said, well, give to Caesar what's Caesar's and give to God what's God's. And in verse 22, it says, after that he did that, it says, when they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. That's because they were stumped. And further down, the Sadducees don't believe in a resurrection, so they tried to tangle him up with some convoluted story about 7 brothers who died, and the next one took the former one's wife right down to the 7th, and he answered them again. And it says in verse 33, and when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine. And then of course the Pharisees come together, and some lawyer asks them about what's the first commandment, or what's the greatest commandment. And he answers them. And then he says, I've got a question for you guys. And I'll read that bit there. Read that bit. And he said, what do you think of Christ? Whose son is he? And they said unto him, the son of David. He said to them, how then does David in spirit call him Lord, saying, the Lord said to my Lord, sit thou on my right hand till I make thine enemies thy footstool. If David then called him Lord, how is he his son? And this is one of my most favourite verses in the Bible. And no man was able to answer him a word, neither did any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. They was completely stumped, and that completely baffled them, because it doesn't matter what curly little question they tried to ask Jesus, because they were trying to be too clever. They got completely stumped. So you can't outsmart Jesus. Just don't bother. You know, he's God. Remember, you're trying to fight against God doing that. That's just dumb. If you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For whosoever shall confess that Jesus is the Son of God, God dwells in him, and he in God. You know, don't try and outsmart Jesus. Get with the program and listen and learn from him instead of questioning him. God bless you. Have a great day.